Agent in Charge Michael Motzinger from the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation. I'm going to start out with a short statement, and then we'll be able to answer some questions after that. Please keep in mind we're not going to be able to give much more detail than we already have in the statement. On Saturday, August 23rd at 10:07 a.m., volunteers cleaning up trash along the 5 Greenbelt trails behind Paulsen and Son Contractors at 7930 University Boulevard observed an unresponsive male lying against the fence that separated the business from the trails. The volunteer immediately called 911 and requested assistance. Prior to police and medic arrival, family members from the business observed the activity at the rear of their property and came back to investigate. They immediately recognized the individual as their family member, Zachary Michael Paulsen, age 21. Responding emergency personnel determined he was deceased. The first responding officers observed traumatic injuries to his body and called in Clyde police investigators. The Clyde Police Department then called in the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation, Crime Scene Response Team, and an investigative team to assist with this investigation. An intensive joint investigative effort immediately began with detectives and agents processing the crime scene, searching for surveillance camera videos, and interviewing persons who knew or had been in the company of Zachary in the last 24 hours of his life. Investigators were able to determine that Zachary had last been seen by a number of people leaving Taps Pub in Clyde shortly before 2 a.m. on Saturday, August 23rd. Detectives interviewed a number of people who were in Taps that night to determine their whereabouts at and after bar closing time. Among the persons interviewed on the first night of the investigation was Stephen Robert Jonas, age 49, of Clyde. Jonas denied being at the Paulsen and Sons property that night and denied knowledge of Zachary's death. Jonas gave an explanation detectives also observed an injury to Jonas's face. Jonas gave an explanation of the cause of the injury that did not appear to be plausible to the detectives. Late in the evening on Sunday, August 24th, detectives asked Jonas to return to the Clyde Police Department for another interview. He agreed to return. During his second interview, Jonas admitted that he had, in fact, gone to the Paulsen contractor's property where he found Zachary alone. He said the two of them became involved in a physical altercation near the fence in the south portion of that property. Jonas admitted that he had caused the death of Zachary Paulsen. After the interview, Jonas was taken into custody and charged with first-degree murder. He was held in a detention cell at the Clyde Police Department, then later transferred to the Polk County Jail. An autopsy is being performed today by the Polk County Medical Examiner's Office to determine the exact cause and manner of Zachary's death. This was an isolated incident and was in no way related to the use of the Clyde Greenbelt Trail. The trail has been reopened for public use. There are no trail safety concerns related to this incident. Additionally, I would like to point out that the owners and employees of Taps Pub have been completely cooperative in this investigation, and their assistance has been invaluable. With that, I'll open it up to a few questions.
Chief, can you tell us the relationship between Jonas and Mr. Paulsen?
I would say they're acquaintances. They both frequented the same bar. I would say casual acquaintances.
Can you talk a little bit more, just when you say that there were traumatic injuries to Zachary seen by witnesses, how would you describe those traumatic injuries?
At this point, I'm not going to go into any more detail about the injuries. As we said, the autopsy is currently being performed, and they will be investigating the exact manner and cause of his death.
Do you know why Jonas was at the family business that late? Did he give any indication how he wound up there so late?
It wasn't unusual for Zach to go to that business at night. It was a normal thing that he did. However, Jonas appeared that night uninvited. We don't know exactly what caused him to go there, but he was not an invited guest.
So were the two at this tap together and then wound up over at the family business? business, or was it just that the two then happened upon each other at the business?
The two were at the bar at the same time. I would not say they were together. They were both in attendance at the bar at the same time, and both left somewhere around closing time. But they did not leave together.
Was there any sort of altercation between the two at the bar, whether it was physical or verbal?
No, there wasn't.
Do you have any idea how they wound up outside? It wasn't unusual to go to the family business and stay there the night. How did they wind up outside of the Greenbelt?
At this point, I don't think I'm going to talk about any more details of what occurred at the scene. We want to maintain the integrity of the case for prosecution, so I'm not going to comment on that right now.
What was Jonas's prior record?
Jonas does not have a criminal record that I'm aware of.
The injuries to his face, we could see that in the booking photo. Was that the only injury that detectives or investigators noticed?
That was the only obvious injury. That is the injury that I discussed earlier in my statement.
Was there surveillance video then that had caught him outside of the bar when he first denied being even there on scene? Is that how then detectives followed up, or what can you say more of what led you back to him?
Without discussing the exact nature, part of the investigation was to check outside the bar, along the paths of travel, anywhere near this incident. Part of our investigation was to determine where video cameras were, and we were able to have video sources from a number of locations, and we are still piecing a lot of things together. It's a very time-consuming process. It's a process that will go on for a while, but we have recovered some surveillance video that did assist us in this investigation.
Was there any type of weapon or object